Hello, my name is James, and I'm a grateful recovering addict and alcoholic. Welcome to my live stream call in show at 9 p.m. Eastern Time every weekday. Call the number on the screen if you'd like to talk live and share your experience, strength, and hope on addiction recovery and everything in betwizzle. Tonight we're going to talk about something I heard tonight at a meeting an hour ago. Somebody was talking about one of his sponsees, not in by name, it's anonymous, just in general, saying that chronic relapser, this person is constantly saying, I need to be alone, I need some time to think. And his sponsor, who's 28 years sober, 29 years sober, said, why would you want to do that? That's like spending time with the enemy. And that rang a bell to me. That I related to that one. 8 months ago, it was revealed to me. I was finally granted the knowledge that I am the problem. My thoughts are the problem. Alcoholism is a disease of the mind. I have always lived alone. I constantly am saying I need to be alone. I need some time to think. I need to recharge. I'm an introvert. What's up, Shades of Clarity? Ty, MF Boat. I need some time to drink. That's a good one. I just need some time to be alone. I just need some time to drink. That's a good one, Skimbly Bimbers. What's up, Carl? Yeah, I've always been there. It's and then the more we went on in, this was in the 12 and 12. We were reading the 12 Traditions and 12 Steps book on the 12th step, which is service. The principle behind the 12th step is service. The 12th step is carry this message to alcoholics. Teddy Bear, hello. It's said that connection is the opposite of addiction. I am still wrapping my head around this. It will be revealed when it does. I'm trying not to jump to conclusions or make my own definition. For I am the enemy. My mind is the enemy. My ideas are the enemy. My opinions are the enemy. I have my best days when I hit 2 meetings a day, morning and evening. I am on go, good for takeoff, on this job I am applying for, which will get me around people. Again. Carl says, my old friend came by yesterday and got pissed because I wouldn't drink a beer with him. Well, that's his problem, isn't it? If I'm pissed, it's my problem. When we are upset, it is our problem. One of the streams I did last week was anytime I'm upset, anytime I'm not peaceful and serene, I check and see which principle I'm not working. Which of the 12 principles, which of the 12 steps am I not working? I've been putting it to the test. That works every single time. It doesn't matter if somebody cut me off in traffic and I'm super justifiably pissed. It's me. It's me. Something in me is why I'm upset. It doesn't matter if someone lights me on fire and I'm upset about it. Shit, that's a real extreme example. Don't just disregard that one. I don't know how that one can relate. But you know what I mean? Near beer, non-alcoholic beer. Non-alcoholic beer is for non-alcoholics. Yeah, if I'm upset, if I'm on fire with rage or envy, jealousy, resentment, I need to stop, drop, and roll in the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. There you go, MF Boat. If I am upset, mad, sad, envious, I need to stop, drop, and roll in the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. So I've been an introvert all my life. I thought it was just a personality trait. I learned tonight, and I swear I learned something new. If you open your mind and listen in an AA meeting, you will learn something. And I go to for the past 8 months, I've been to a meeting or two every day. And just think of how much I've learned. When I'm by myself, when I need some time alone, what am I doing? Cyclical thinking. All my old thoughts are going around in my head. You know what I mean, man? Talk from my diaphragm. Another saying is, a lot of people say they experience God in others, which I still have yet to fully comprehend. But I can see it being true. My best days, whether I like, quote unquote, being with other people or around other people, or maybe it's because I feel uncomfortable. The other thing we were reading in this, maybe I'll pull it up. It's step 12 in the 12 steps and 12 traditions. I have it right here, as a matter of fact, what we were reading. If you download the Everything AA app, you can read the 12 and 12 or the big book on your phone for free. So, like, some of this stuff just hit so home for me. Talking about trying to after we come into AA, if we go on growing, our attitudes and actions towards security, emotional security, and financial security commence to change profoundly. Our demand for emotional security, for our own way, had constantly thrown us into unworkable relations with other people. Though we were sometimes quite unconscious of this, the result always had been the same. Either we had tried to play God and dominate those around us, or we had insisted on being over-dependent upon them. We had tried to dominate those around us, or were over-dependent upon them. That's codependence, and addiction is riddled with codependence. Where people have temporarily let us ruin their lives as though they were still children, we had felt very happy and secure ourselves. But when they finally resisted or ran away, we were bitterly hurt and disappointed. We blamed them, being quite unable to see that our unreasonable demands had been the cause. Chill out. What up, Alex? Bonnie? Be the light so that others can see. Shade says, at our Saturday morning meeting, more than half of the group was really having difficulty reading. Sometimes we were in the room reading the stories. 1 second. Hey! Chill out. Come on, you want to go out? Come on, Michael. Yeah, in that 12 and 12, here's one thing I practice when someone's having trouble reading at a meeting. I practice not being God. I'm realizing more and more, even though you would ask me any time in my life, do you think you're God? I would say no. I'm realizing more and more that and although I don't take others' inventory or try not to, I'm realizing most people walk around exercising their opinions, imposing their will and their way upon you like they are God. I would do the same thing. If I had an opinion, I used to, the shit has dissipated magically as I work the 12 steps daily in my life. It is the need to be validated by imposing my opinions on others is slowly but surely dissipating. So when someone's having trouble reading in a meeting, it's not my job. It is not my job to correct them, and I didn't really ever do this, but just today I realized somebody had trouble with a word, or somebody said the wrong word when they were reading, and I heard someone else say the right word. It's not our job. I'm not God. I'm not God of all reading. I'm not God of all words. It's God's will be done that person read it like that. The world is fine without me correcting it. You know what I mean? Man's ego, is, I don't know. I can't even pretend to know if it's out of control or if it's right where it should be. God's will be done. Maybe we are, right where we should be. Everything is right, for me to say something's right or wrong is like playing God. It's suggesting I have all knowledge about it. You know what I mean? So I am gradually but surely accepting that my opinions are just that. They're just my opinions. If you don't have them, that's fine. That's the way the world is. Do you know how crazy it would be if, I stated an opinion and then 8.7 billion people agreed with it and started living their life in that way? You would you'd be afraid to say your opinion again, because if something serious like that happened, you'd be like, wait, I don't really know. You guys can chill. I don't want the whole world doing this. We walk around and people do it to us too. People do it to me. And I just want to point it out, have them change their ways, because I resent the shit out of them for just not, I'm not going to call anybody out, but I have a family member that doesn't agree with this statement. If I ask him, if I say, please don't touch any of my stuff. Please don't change anything while you're in my house. Please don't rearrange the blinds because you think it's better for energy conservation. Please don't change the thermostat. Please don't change the air ducts. Please don't lock my garage door, because for damn near 10 years I've kept my garage door unlocked and I'm able to get into my house. I don't carry, I don't want to mess with keys and shit. This person, and I say, it's very disrespectful if I politely ask you to not do something and then you do it when it has to do with my stuff. I'm like, you're going to be in my house for 5 minutes. Please don't change anything. Please don't touch my stuff. Please don't change anything. 5 minutes is up. They change something. Then you bring it to them and they're like, that's picky. It's picky. No, I think it's disrespectful that if I ask you not to do something specifically, and you still do it. But they don't think so. They don't agree that that is disrespectful. So I looked up the definition of disrespectful. It was literally defined as disrespectful. They still don't agree with it. So I can't change that. Although all logic says that I could just say it and they will be like, oh yeah, that's right. Because it is right. But who the hell knows? I don't know. The only thing I have control over is I'm not letting them in my house. All right. Then you're not coming in my house. If we disagree about that, if you won't agree that touching other people's things and changing stuff around when they specifically ask you not to is disrespectful, then the only thing I can do is not let you in my house. What up, Jamie Hofstadter? We can learn a lot from others' experiences. That's damn straight. I think public speaking leads death. I heard someone say public speaking is more, the fear of public speaking, glossophobia is called, is more common than death. That means more people would rather die than get on stage and talk in front of a room full of people. What's up, Pheromone? Your back door's open so they can let themselves in. Yeah, my back door's well, I got big dogs. And I'm a big dude. So whoever comes in here, God help them. Without permission, God help them. But that's not the point. The point is I was locked out of my house one time after this person came over when I wasn't here because he thought that I should have my garage door locked. It's like, well, motherfucker, you don't live here. You know what I mean? But I guess I can't impose my opinions that is disrespectful on this person. So the only thing I can do is just set a boundary. You're not coming in my house. If you think that touching other people's stuff when they ask you specifically not to, politely, if you don't think that's disrespectful, you can have that opinion all you want. You're going to have it outside. So, well, the other thing is righteousness. Okay, so we're getting off topic. The topic is, I'm my own worst enemy. I heard someone else say in the meeting, when they start having a conversation with someone in their head before they meet the person, they know that is, you're beginning to play God. And a lot of things are said, and I have to kind of try to comprehend and open my mind to what they're saying. And this person said, you know what I'm talking about when we're going to meet with a person and maybe we have something we got to talk to them about. And then you have a conversation in your head. You're in your head, which is the enemy. If you're in your head, between your two ears, you're in a bad neighborhood, is the saying in AA. That's how we remember that the problem is not alcohol. The problem is our think box. Our problem is essentially our ego, ourselves. So this person shared and was like, anytime, and this is the power of sharing and going to meetings and hearing other people share and learning to listen and listening to learn. This person said, when I begin having a conversation with somebody in my head, predicting how it's going to go, predicting what I'm going to say, I'm playing God. And this is a new concept to me because, like I said, 8 months ago, I guess, if you were to ask me, do you think you're God? Or in fact, someone did. My sponsor said, do you think you're God? I said, I need to work the third step. How do I get this God thing? One of the 3 questions he asked me was, do you think you're God? I said, no. That's ridiculous. I don't think I'm God. And he asked me, well, why do you treat your opinions, your thoughts, your will, your ideas, your desires, your defenses, why do you treat them as the be-all, end-all, alpha, omega, the end? And I'm like, why do I do that? And I think it's human. I also think it's the environment we were raised in. We were taught if you put your mind to something, you can do it. Sorry, people. That's false. That's false. You can do it maybe for a while, or maybe you can, sure. I could become an ultimate fighting champion, perhaps, if I put my mind to it. But there's a big perhaps because physical limitations, age, body weight, injuries. If I put my mind to it, which I have, I can stay sober from alcohol. False. It's true to an extent, but we're human. That means we're finite. Our willpower is limited. I have one of the strongest wills. This is secondhand accounts. People tell me I have one of the strongest willpowers they've ever experienced. I now take that as an insult. That's an insult to me. I don't like willpower. Willpower is the same willpower that kept you sober for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, which it did me. Blood, sweat, and tears, white knuckles, is the same willpower that took me to the liquor store. You can't stop me from going to the liquor store. If my will is zeroed in on drinking, a tree and a 3-month coma didn't stop me. I woke up, learned how to walk again in the next month and a half, trained my muscles and shit. The next thing I know, I was walking with a cane to the Bangkok Bistro in downtown Schenectady, New York, where they serve alcohol. Bro, you can't. And that's what. And that's the problem with willpower. Is we all have different levels of power when it comes to our will. The more alone we are, the stronger our willpower. Would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? That's our willpower. Is like, bro, stop dominating me with your will. And is what people must say to me, like, I don't agree with your opinion. I don't care how many times you explain it to me. It's not gonna happen. If my willpower, now, if I have an open mind and I start, which I have been recognizing that people are right. I'm not the only person with correct statements and perspectives. It's starting to become a lot more clear to me that if I'm upset, it's essentially because I'm playing God. What am I upset about? That the world isn't going according to my will. You know what I mean? You try to boot up your computer and you get a blue screen of death. Instant frustration. Somebody cuts you off in traffic, beeps their horn at you. You know what I mean? I want to be impervious to anger, frustration. You know, pain, it is said, pain is inevitable, misery is optional. I want to be impervious, but see, I would have never had these perspectives had I just insisted on being alone, which I insisted on being alone when I was working from home these past 6 years. I insisted on being alone. Then I insisted on smoking weed. All my will be done. All my will be done. What up, Noah? So the meetings are part of the program. The program is the 12 steps. The program is the book, but the meetings are part of it. And they solve a giant gap in what you have been lacking, and that's human contact, socialization, the opposite of isolation. I need to be alone. I need some time to think. Wrong. That is sleeping with the enemy. If I say I need to be alone or I need some time to think, I'm spending time with the enemy. And you may say, well, I'm not my worst enemy. Well, you must be happy, joyous, and free then. If you're not happy, joyous, and free, you're your own worst enemy. Yeah, well, I can be an a-hole whether drunk or not. If I could just stop drinking and my problems be solved, that'd be super easy. But after the alcohol is gone, the ism remains. If you have a drunk horse thief and you take that booze away, you still have a horse thief. No, you need to be smoking the 12 steps and having sex with the big book. That's what you need to be doing. Because that girl or boy, I don't judge, and that joint is not going to fix your problem. Those are band-aids. Just like alcohol is a band-aid, just joints are, sex is, and it goes all the way down to sugar, isolating, Netflix. It's a program of action. In my opinion, I mean, it's not even my opinion. It's the program that taught me that. And then in doing that is now my wholehearted. It's a fact. It isn't an opinion. It is proven through immense experience to be a fact. Well, Shades, I used to go into a meeting or only go to meetings where there were only meetings I liked. If it's a speaker meeting, I'm not going. If it's a big book meeting, I'm not going. I like discussion. Well, what I like and what I don't like was the problem. I like getting drunk. I like isolating. I like being alone, and I like not reading the book. The book saved my ass because I became open to other ways. So if I find myself uncomfortable in a meeting because it's a speaker meeting and I immediately start judging, I mean, oh, this person's going to suck. This is going to be so boring. That is alcoholism. That's the voice of your alcoholism. Instantly recognizing everything that's different about you and the speaker, that's your alcoholism trying to get you out of the meeting and into a liquor store. And the reason you don't see it is because it's cunning, baffling, and more powerful than you. So I open my mind to the speaker. I recognize the similarities, not the differences. And lo and behold, I grew a little. Not because I was aroused, Mike Tucker. Get your mind out of the gutter. I grew emotionally and matured as a person because I opened my mind to a perspective that wasn't mine. So what we like and what we don't like is next to dust in the wind. It's irrelevant. When people would say get over yourself, that's exactly what they meant. Get over yourself because yourself is standing in your way of greater things. Get over yourself. What you like and don't like doesn't make the world go round. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if I like Gravity. It doesn't matter if I like Tidal, whatever. It doesn't matter if I like Air. And it doesn't matter if I like speaker meetings. It doesn't matter if I like, I've been doing shit I don't like. Just to grow faster, I started doing stuff I don't like. Very openly and very, and I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you my experience in the past 8 months. I haven't said, I don't like this, I don't like that. That shit stays at the outside. When I feel myself getting in my head about I'm uncomfortable, I don't like this person, that, you're essentially playing God. And if you spend too much time alone with that person, you're going to drink again. I'm going to drink again if I spend too much time with me. Right on, JV. Self-deleted. Oh. Yeah, well, alcoholics don't have a monopoly on the old suicide. Know what I mean? What you guys think isn't I'm not sad. I'm going for the next step tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I'm going for the next step in a butter job that I don't even think I could have. I don't even. People, including me, are surprised that I got a job as a postal mailman. They're like, "Isn't that hard to get?" And you know what I mean? I put my will. What I thought was it was hard to get. I'm not going to get it because I don't have a work history. I got a criminal history. What I thought was next to nothing. I got the job. Reality rules. I wasn't applying for this particular position. Mailman is the position for years because I thought some shit. Turns out when I said God's will be done, and I just filled out the application and just did one step at a time, I'm a mailman. What I thought was dust in the wind. What I thought was nothing. So no, I'm not sad. That's just what you are thinking. What we think, especially when we're alone, is dangerous, for the alcoholic especially. It does. I'm sure it helped that I'm a veteran. But then again, Shades, that's your mind saying that. Maybe you observed one or two things, and your mind is now processing that I might as well not apply to be a mailman because all they do is look at veterans. That's your mind saying that. Our mind, what we think, is next to nothing compared to reality. We don't know shit. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, everybody, but you don't know shit. I don't know shit. I know very little. You know very little. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about, Bonnie. I don't know shit about God. There is one thing I know about God. I'm not it. In this game of tag between me and God, I'm not it. I've never been it, and I will never be it. Do you know how relieving that is? Do you know how relaxing that is? I mean, I can let go of all my opinions and just chill. Mike, your cousin still doesn't know all there is to know about shit. You know what I mean? The amount of fecal knowledge that he doesn't know still outweighs the amount he does think he knows, is my point. Mikey, what up? You are not God, and you are not God. But should I think of that? Yeah, you are not God, and you are not God. Well, I don't know about that one. Maybe not yet, but I do know I am not God. For the sake of alcoholism, I am not God. So I don't need to be restless and irritable, discontent about something, because I don't know shit about it. I don't know if I'm going to get this job. I'm getting my fingerprints taken tomorrow. They're sending them to the FBI. The last job that did that had to let me go because of some old drunken misdemeanors. I don't know if that's going to happen this time. I have a good feeling, but I don't know. You know what that does? That relieves me of anxiety about the future. And when it does happen, it relieves me of depression about the past. But the one thing I can't do is isolate. I'm going straight to a meeting, if I don't get that job. Not panicky or anything, but just like that's where I need to be. Not alone in my head. We are God's children. God doesn't have any grandchildren. Your sponsor is confusing me. Truth versus falsehood. I personally don't picture God as a person. I personally don't understand God as a person. If you come and tell me God made us in his image, I'd be like, no, I think man made God in man's image. That's my understanding of God. God's big enough to where he'll be like, yeah, that's cool. And this person over here that thinks I was made I made you in their image, that's cool too. God's big enough and vast enough to handle a bunch of different understandings of him. No, I don't smoke weed, Jamie. I haven't done any drugs since November 30th of 2023, including alcohol. I'm smoking the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous now. I'm snorting the lines. I'm snorting the principles like they're lines. I'm going to the meetings like they're bars. Mikey, don't ask me about that because I don't pay attention to Jesus or the Holy Trinity or any of that. I pay attention to a God of my understanding. To my understanding, God isn't. God is. I can't describe a God of my understanding, and if I ever will, my ego has gotten out of control to where I think I have the answers to a power greater than myself. If it was a power I could describe and a power I understood completely, it wouldn't be a power greater than myself. So until I shake Jesus' hand, don't ask me about Jesus. Same thing goes with anybody, really. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm just discussing it because I saw the question. Yeah. Ask Mike about that. Ask Mike Tucker about it. There's people in here that are Christians. Christian being the, followers of Christ and that story. That works for them. That works for them. I'm not even saying it's wrong because I don't know. That is how Christians understand God. However you understand God, that's enough for AA. The first and foremost thing about God in the realm of alcoholism and addiction is I'm not God. My opinions aren't godly. My way is not the only way. I don't need to control everyone. I can't control my alcoholism. There are powers in the world that are greater than me, and I can't just keep insisting that I'm powerful enough to take them on, especially alcoholism. That's how I understand it. I wasn't I tried my entire life to do things, including get sober, and I have proven without a sliver of a doubt that I am powerful, but I am not that powerful. I'm not God. You know what I mean? We can do some things, we can accomplish some things. And that's even questionable on whether or not we did it alone. Bill, Dr. Bob, and their wives did prayer, meditation, read the Bible, and shared initial home meetings. Powerful. Right on. If I'm not God, I can't experience it alone. The topic of this live stream is when I say I need some time alone and I say I need some time to think, I am with the enemy. I'm in enemy territory. I am behind enemy lines. If I want to be alone, if I want some time to think, I'm behind enemy lines. That's alcoholism, for lack of a better word. And I'm far from God. Ego, EGO, edging God out. Me, edging God out. I'm starting to learn if I get angry or frustrated with anything, that's my ego. I'm not accepting that it's God's world. I'm starting to think it's my world. If I get pissed, if I get upset with anything in reality, that's the same thing as saying this is my world and that shouldn't be. That's man's ego. That's our ego. And trust me, I know it's hard to believe, but at least I think there's people on this earth that can accept everything. And, the Buddhist monks or whatever, very spiritual people that are just very accepting of the way the world is. They do not insist on changing anything around them. They realize that it's not up to them. They're just players. They're just pawns. They're just actors in the play. They are not the director, the owners, or the chessboard. And that is serenity and peace. We also need each other, which is why we can't be alone and isolate. It will all show you to become one with the Holy Spirit. That happens in the promises of AA. It happened to me and greatly worth becoming humble. Your friend David. Thank you, David Hopper. Humility. I'm good at some things. I'm not good at everything. I am powerful, but I'm not all powerful. Sure, I have some power. Sure, willpower kept me sober for 3 years. It did. I wasn't sober. Sober is not, in the dictionary, sober is defined as a couple different things. One is not intoxicated by alcohol. The other is, one that's always been interesting to me is sober as a judge, or emotionally sober, or just sober like the way you are, very sober. True that, truth versus falsehood. Falsehood says, truth says, I have found I need to communicate better boundaries to not become a doormat. Love and tolerance includes ourselves, not just others. True that. Self-respect. I did a stream on this months and months and months ago. When I realized self-respect, I started to realize the respect for others. I liked going to meetings until drama started in the rooms. It didn't start. It's been there since 1935 when the first meeting started. That's the way it happens sometimes. It didn't start. Drama is going to be in some rooms. Some rooms more than others. That's why there's different groups and different meetings to go to. And that's where the tradition of that's where the principle of principles before personalities is what you say. Your alcoholism can convince you this place sucks. These people suck. I'm never coming back. I need some time to think. I need some time to be alone. Your alcoholism has you where it wants you. You're in enemy territory. So you say principles before personalities. Alcoholics need Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. Alcoholics Anonymous meetings is a way to share experience and hear the experience of others shared with the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is the program of AA. The meetings aren't the program. The meetings are the fellowship and where you discuss experience and hear the experience of others. So drama didn't start in the rooms. The drama has always been there, Jamie. It's part of the world. There's drama at the grocery store. There's drama on the highway. There's drama everywhere. There's people. But I know what you mean. Certain meetings I've gone to before. Well, here's the thing. Here's what AA has taught me. You think the drama started and that was that, but it wasn't that. It was you. If you were upset with something, if you're uncomfortable, if you're frustrated or angry, resentful, it's you. There's something you're not doing in the steps that can solve that. Acceptance is the one be-all, end-all. Hey, I accept that there's drama in these rooms. Fuck them. That's their problem. But they didn't just start in the rooms. They're all, and I haven't, and I've been to thousands of meetings. I've never seen a fight. I've never seen a physical fight. And when I say thousands, I am not being hyperbolic. I am not exaggerating. I have been to thousands of meetings. Just in these past 240 some days, I've been to twice a day mostly, but definitely once a day. For 245 days, that's already 500. And I've never seen a physical fight. I don't even think because AA is sacred. AA is sacred for those who, for alcoholics. AA is sacred. The rooms are sacred. You know what I'm saying? And people will be people. Human beings will be people. Not everybody's well in there. Most of us are sick on a daily basis unless we practice the medicine. So there's drama, and but as far as I've been to thousands of meetings and I still haven't seen a fight. I had one guy tell me, an old timer, he told the group, he said, I've seen 2 fights or he said, I've seen 3. He said, I've seen 3 physical fights since I've been coming to meetings since 1972, and 2 of them were started by me. That's what he told him. A boundary and self-respect is, I'm not going to let the drama at the meeting keep me from practicing principles and going to meetings. That's a boundary. But the meetings are sacred, and just like any social group, there are things that are discouraged, and definitely physical violence is discouraged. Crosstalk is even discouraged, which means talking about interrupting someone while they're sharing, or talking directly to each other, to that person, or disagreeing with the person. And the shit still happens, in these passive aggressive ways and shit. But you can choose to concentrate on that, or you can choose to concentrate on the principles. It's principles before personalities. I do know one thing, and that is not going to meetings. Every time I stop going to meetings, I've gotten drunk sooner or later. Every time, and I bet, and I still want to bet money on this because I'd be rich by now. Every time I hear someone sharing about relapse in the meeting, there are 2 things you can hear come out of their mouth. One is, I had stopped going to meetings. And like I said, I've heard this thousands of times. Well, I've been to thousands of meetings. I've probably heard this dozens of times. The person who has come back into AA after going out and drinking, road testing, they will say, I've stopped going to meetings. And then mostly all their sentences will begin with, I thought. I thought I could get away with it. I thought I could control my drinking. I thought I could only do it for the weekend. I thought I wasn't an alcoholic anymore because I had been years without it. I thought this, I thought that. If you listen to anyone talk about relapse, in the rooms at least, if you listen to people talk about relapse, they'd either stop going to meetings or they never tried going to meetings. And you can't ignore facts like that. Even if you're as stubborn as I am, or every alcoholic is, you can't ignore facts like anyone who relapses had stopped going to AA meetings or never tried to go in the first place. I know personally that when I stopped going to AA meetings, it creeps in. It creeps in. I've gone a couple years hanging on by the skin of my teeth. But it creeps. Your will, your ego, yourself creeps. I was behind enemy lines trying to think of a solution against a problem of the mind is futile. What up, Nick? Thank you. Me too. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here, to be able to do this. It's not allowed. You think, you didn't think it was allowed. People having affairs, jealousy, stalking. There's no rules of AA. There is no rule. There's no rule that says, there's no rules. There is one requirement, that's that you have the desire to stop drinking. To maintain the community of AA, there are also traditions and suggestions, and the social group won't allow that shit. They won't allow that shit. Of course there's going to be romantic affairs. Bill had affairs, Bill W. The alcoholic people are not saints. It even says that in the book. We are not saints. They are supposed to be sacred, but we're not saints. To me, it's sacred, and I still find myself, flirting and shit. It's sacred. So, and I still find myself envisioning punching somebody in the face. We're just humans. The rooms of AA is not like some kind of, but it's very much so like there are no leaders. There's no rules. There's no authority. The only authority is a loving God. So I think it's pretty amazing that none of this shit goes on. Rule 62, don't take yourself too damn seriously. These are novelty rules. Rule 62, don't take yourself too damn seriously. So, yeah, Jamie, people have love affairs and shit like any other social group. If you are if you're not sick, you'll realize, you can have a healthy affair. My old sponsor and his girlfriend, now wife, they met in AA. Now, if you're new and you're still sick and don't know how to think and are barely away from your first drink and some guy's hitting on you, that's going to be highly discouraged. There are some that will, I'm sure there's some men that are deep into sobriety and practice of principles that will not allow that. It's discouraged, but we are not saints. You know what I mean? Exactly, Bonnie. And when you're paying attention to principles over personalities, it's your alcoholism. You're behind enemy lines. When you're picking apart AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, it wouldn't have lasted for 89 years if it was just some kind of sex party like all these doubters say. It just wouldn't have happened. If you don't like one meeting, you go to another. If you don't like that meeting, you go to another. You go until you find your home group. Your home group is where you feel safe enough. AA meetings are not dangerous, number one. They're very safe. Just because your alcoholism, my alcoholism, anybody's alcoholism will tell you there's a lot wrong going on in this room. You recognize the similarities, not the differences. You recognize the principles and not the personalities. Of course, there's going to be some abrasive personalities in Alcoholics Anonymous. They are discouraged by the group, but that doesn't always stop them. I'm still amazed. This political environment that we're going through right now, I'm still amazed. I'm in Trump country. I'm still amazed that no one wears a Trump hat. No one brings politics into the meetings because they know what happens. That shit gets squashed by the group. And if the group doesn't do that, find yourself another group. I went to a group twice until I realized it wasn't even an AA meeting. It was just a bunch of dudes trying to start a little side club. It wasn't a sanctioned AA meeting. So yeah, you gotta be vigilant. And if you're in a meeting where there's a bunch of assholes, go to a different meeting because there's different groups with different names. In an ideal AA meeting, in all AA meetings, in all AA approved meetings, they're sanctioned by the district, by like the place in New York City. You got to get sanctioned and all that. But there's always going to be idiots, assholes, people you don't agree with. If you like everybody in AA, you're not going to enough meetings. That's the saying. If you like everybody in AA, you're not going to enough meetings. You're not supposed to like everyone in AA. You're supposed to be there for the principles. What we like and what we dislike is the problem. And the groups aren't the program. But if you go to a meeting and you see a bunch of stuff that you just can't handle, then you go to another meeting. But there is going to be some sick people in there. I mean, there's sick people everywhere, but especially in Alcoholics Anonymous, there's going to be some sick individuals. And on this side of my spiritual awakening, I can see them. I can see them a mile away. Ones that are still, they're just how I used to be. That's how powerful the spiritual awakening is. It's a paradigm shift. It's a psychic change. It's a new pair of glasses. It's a new way of life. I am a new person, or at least the higher version of myself. And I'm not talking about pot, cannabis, weed. I'm not talking about all that. I am the greater version of myself. My character defects, I either don't practice them or they have been removed from my character. Just because we have character defects doesn't mean we have to practice them. We also have character assets. That is what I practice these days. So, me being in the room, I used to be a guy that in order to gain validation, I would perhaps maybe try to sleep with you if you're in if you're my type. I was on some kind of agenda, motive. If I was still sick, or if I stopped practicing the principles and start practicing my character defects, yeah, I could get into a fight at a meeting real quick. Not when I'm practicing the principles of AA. I could hit on a newcomer real quick. Not when I'm practicing the principles of AA. It's principles before personalities, and that sometimes even includes your own personality. In fact, my recovery is based on practicing the principles of AA and not my personality traits. My greater personality traits are coming to the surface, helping others, being kind, swearing less, not punching people in the face. These are my character assets. I was blinded to some of them because I thought I knew. But yes, Jamie and everybody else, we are not saints is in the big book. We are not saints. We practice the principles of a spiritual program. We concentrate on progress, not perfection. But there's going to be people that aren't practicing, but I don't know. You just gotta experience it for yourself. They don't stay long. A person that's practicing themselves and only themselves and their character defects just doesn't survive in an environment like an AA meeting. They're either not going to come back or they're going to, I don't even think I've seen somebody get kicked out of an AA meeting. All these haters of AA say they kick you out if you're on drugs. They kick you out if you're this. I don't think I've ever seen someone kicked out. I have seen someone, like myself, think I knew best and all that. And that there's sayings like, keep coming back. We'll keep a chair open for you. You know what I'm saying? The door is open to enter and to exit. But I don't think I've seen somebody get kicked out. I haven't seen a fight. And I've been to thousands of meetings. And that's the environment. Yeah, I've seen, you put, human beings are sexual creatures. You put men and women or men and men or whatever your sexual orientation is, especially with some vulnerability flying around and some character defects getting realized and a good way of life and getting healthy again, there's going to be some sexual attraction and shit, but the AA is not there for that. Haters will tell you that AA and 13-stepping, that's all they're there for. It's a cult. Everybody has sex and it's a big orgy. That is false. Alcoholics Anonymous has one primary purpose: to get sober and help the alcoholics, to remain sober and help the alcoholic get sober. Anybody who's not practicing those principles is either going to be so uncomfortable in a meeting that they're not going to come back until they absolutely need it. Jamie, do me a personal favor. Check out the meeting guide app. You'll realize that there's a lot more meetings than you think there are. Meeting guide app on your phone. There's young people meetings. I'm sure there's people in college that need to go to AA meetings. There are Zoom meetings. Check those out. But the alcoholic loves Zoom meetings because you get to isolate and not go anywhere and not experience true connection. The Zoom meetings, it's well agreed upon that the Zoom meetings are they're like AA light. You don't get all the benefits. You get a little bit of something. You can listen to people's strength and stuff. If I had a dying breath to say something for any of the still struggling Alcoholics Anonymous out there, or any of the still struggling alcoholics out there, it would be go to AA, stay, and listen to everything that they say. Take all the suggestions. Every last one of them. If they say go to 90 meetings in 90 days, ignore your judgments about it, ignore your opinions, go to 90 meetings in 90 days. If they say everything that AA says will be the recovery from your alcoholism. All the suggestions, all the literature. Now, some people in AA, you'll get into a meeting and some people are talking. And this is an alcoholic like you or me is talking. You have to realize that this is a personality talking. Different personalities venture away from, if you want Alcoholics Anonymous, read the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. So some people will go to meetings and they'll be like, man, these people are crazy talking. Yeah, these people are crazy. They're alcoholics. That's not Alcoholics Anonymous. But anyway, don't stay in your own head. You'll be in a bad neighborhood. Don't isolate. Be careful when you say, and I might as well just talk to myself. I need to be careful when I say I need some time to think. I need to be careful when I say I need some time alone. Because when I say any versions of those two things, I'm in enemy territory. Yeah, Zoom, you can go on to aa.org. You can go on to that meeting guide app right now and click on a Zoom meeting and it'll be on your phone right there. You don't have to have your camera or your microphone on. Nothing you think about an AA meeting, not nothing, but barely anything you think of an AA meeting is going to be true. I can tell you this from experience. Your alcoholism is telling you all these things about AA meetings. They're all lies. If you want to know about AA, download Everything AA app and read the big book. And it's not that big. It's 164 pages. Hasn't changed since 1935. The shit is dope. Dopest shit I've ever read. Because it's about me. You're going to read it. It's going to be about you. The wow factor in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous is amazing. Meeting guide app. Guide, like a tour guide. Meeting guide app. And you can go to a meeting on there. And you can also, you'll pull it up and it'll tell you what meetings are coming up and where they are. They'll give you directions to them. You can text somebody else. Meeting guide app, like a tour guide. meeting guide app. And there's Zoom meetings on there. If that doesn't, well, it will work, number one. But there's also aa.org. And there's also Everything AA app if you want to read the big book for free, or the 12 traditions, or Living Sober. If you want to hide something from the alcoholic, put it in the big book. That's great. Go to AA or NA and ask them what you need. Don't think you know what you need. We only think we know. Go there and ask a sober alcoholic or addict, what do you need? And then do everything that they say. And like I said, they're just suggestions. The door is open for entry. The door is open for exit. The suggestions can be taken or they can be ignored. But good on you, Jamie. By trying new things, you'll get new results. One thing's for sure, though, we can't, as alcoholics or addicts, or probably humans, we can't just chill alone in our own heads. We have to have input by other people, and, you know, we can either go to the bar to get that input, or we can go to an AA meeting. I think we've all had enough input from barflies who think we know everything. And there's going to be people, you know, but I swear to God, I swear, some meetings you're just like, there's God in here. None of these people act like they know everything. They're very, you know, humble, and there's just fucking, it's amazing. It's just unbelievable. All right, y'all. Try to stay out of your head till at least until tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time, where I see you again. And nobody called in tonight. Shame on yous. Well, think about calling tomorrow. And until then, keep it clean, keep it real, keep doing a damn thing, one day at a time. Peace.